Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ashtanga Beginners course that we're doing online now. This is Julie, who is helping out with the course, and I'm Andrew. So we started doing this course. Originally, we've been doing these courses at the Yogashala, and of course, when the lockdown came, we decided to do our first one online. And actually, this is the same course that we're repeating. It's kind of difficult to teach more too advanced. This is really about giving people the basics to practice with, hoping that sooner rather than later, people will be able to actually start to come into a studio, hopefully under fairly good safe conditions, and be able to start practicing with a teacher. So I just wanted to say that it is really important to actually practice with a teacher who can be in the room with you and see what you're doing and see how you're moving. And especially one thing that's really important is to hear your breathing, especially in this system, and to really be able to see your alignment from different angles, those kind of things. So it's really about giving people the basics of practice, which are also very important. And you can get a lot, I believe you can get a lot out of doing like a simple, seemingly simple course like this. So anyway, this is our third one over the last 2 months. Just before we get started on the actual course material, I wanted to run over a couple of things. I hope everybody got the sign-in email. It's supposed to come an hour before class, and you can click on the link in there. And one day I did, I was checking the webinar today, and I realized for some reason maybe it hadn't sent that email. It was something to do with the browser that I was using, Firefox. So I'm hoping I've resolved that problem. So you should get a link sent 1 hour before each one of these classes, and a reminder the day before as well. So that's one thing. The other thing is that during these classes, we have handouts, a couple of handouts, just simple handouts. One of them has some just point form information about the things that we'll be talking about, just to trigger your memory after we've talked. So you need to take notes. You can also take a few notes, and those that page, it's called Ashtanga Intro May 2020, will help you to remember some of those things. There's a breathing diagram which is included, which is just a hand-drawn diagram, which is I'll explain later. It's about when I explain about the breathing technique that we use. And there's also like a diagram of the primary series. So the postures that we'll be learning are from the beginning of the primary series: the Surya Namaskara A, Surya Namaskara B, and the standing postures. So we're planning to get through all of those standing postures, as well as a few finishing postures. Now, the whole primary series is on that page. So if you're not familiar with Ashtanga, if you haven't done yoga before, I don't recommend you try doing that whole series. The idea is to give you that sheet so you can see what we're doing. And then when you're working with a teacher, hopefully you'll be able to add more from what we teach you until and hopefully learn the whole series. Usually that will take maybe 6 months to a year for someone to learn and perfect that whole series. Okay, so those are available for download. You can actually download them during the webinar. And if you have trouble downloading them, send me an email, andrewh@joyceyoga.com, and I will forward them to you as attachments in the email. But if possible, try to download them from the webinar. Okay, so the way this is going to work is this first class and the second one on Saturday, there'll be a bit more time talking. So at the beginning of this class, it's important for me to give you an outline. And the most important thing, and probably the more difficult one, or the more tricky one to try and grasp, is the breathing technique and how we breathe. So I'm going to spend some time talking about how we breathe, how the breathing is integrated into our movement, and then We're going to learn the Surya Namaskara A and possibly Surya Namaskara B, depending on the amount of time we have today. So those things, the Surya Namaskara, which is, I'll actually bring the diagram up right now. Okay, so just you can see it. Okay, so this is the page that I was telling you. 1 second, let me just minimize something on my screen. Okay, so if you see this diagram, you'll see the Surya Namaskara is outlined here. Actually, I think, 1 second, wrong diagram. Series. Okay, so you see the Surya Namaskara, these little figures. So we have all the different positions in the Surya Namaskara. So this diagram, we'll be learning this sequence of postures, which is linked with the breathing. Okay, so this page will be very helpful for you to remember and to practice. And I would recommend whatever we learn today, spend 10 or 15 minutes each day trying to practice what we've learned, which will be very helpful and very beneficial also. Okay, so now I'm going to start talking about the breathing. So I'm going to put up another document, which is the details. So, okay, so one thing that our teacher said when asked about what this Ashtanga yoga is, he called it movement breathing system. His English was not great, but that was the word that he coined, or the phrase that he coined for Ashtanga yoga. It's a movement breathing system. So this means that it incorporates, the breathing is very fundamental. How we move, how we do the yoga. It affects our alignment, internal alignment. It's a very specific breathing technique. Just quickly, it's been called lateral thoracodiaphragmatic breathing. So that's a complicated term. The breathing is deep, it's even, and it's smooth. That's very important. And as I said, this technique will correct your internal alignment, as well as providing support and stability to your posture and when you're doing poses. So that means that if you use this breathing technique well, it'll help you to support especially your lower back. It'll provide more support from inside the chest, which means that less pressure on the shoulders. So these are often places where people have injuries or feel pain, often because there's tightness deeper in the body. We take more pressure in the back, especially the lower back and the shoulders and the knees. When we can open those areas safely especially through the breathing technique, and provide more support because the alignment is improved, what you'll find is those knee issues, shoulder issues, lower back issues tend to be able to get resolved more easily. Okay, so I just put here that in terms of the breathing, the inhales and exhales should be the same length, and the breath should be try to make the breath long and smooth. And so these two aspects of the breathing will very positively affect the nervous system. It affects the vagus nerve, the movement of the diaphragm, the very smooth, even movement of the diaphragm. So this breathing has these two major influences on which give us the effect of the yoga. One is to get very good alignment and support on the physical level, and the other one is that we get a very good effect on the nervous system. Okay, it's also physiologically, the breath goes very deeply into the lungs, and we get better oxygen exchange, so organs start to function better. We get better exchange carbon dioxide, all those things. The other thing is this internal alignment. When you have better alignment and you're able to sit straighter and more upright, it actually makes more space and gives you more space around the organs. So the organs function better, they have better circulation. So everything is related to this breathing. So it's really important. Okay, so we're just quickly going to look at another diagram regarding the actual technique. Okay, so this is the breathing diagram here. Okay, so please forgive my hand-drawn diagram, but something strangely, I find it very appealing. Okay, so what I have here is a picture of your rib cage, and then I'm going to use the highlighter here. So you see the spine is in the middle, you see the rib cage, and the bottom edge of your rib cage here. Okay, and then this within the rib cage, attached to the edges of the rib cage, and like a dome-like muscle that attaches all the way around the ribs, edges of the rib cage, is the diaphragm. Now this diaphragm is what draws air into the lungs. So when the diaphragm contracts normally, if the ribs are stationary, then what happens is the diaphragm flattens out like this. Okay, and so that actually changes the pressure within the lungs. So there's more space within the lungs. Basically, that just sucks air into your lungs. Okay, so air gets pulled in. Now, this is the normal way you would breathe if you sat and just breathe into your belly. Okay, so the belly goes out as the diaphragm comes down, pushes down, the belly goes out, the organs get displaced. Okay, so we have very different technique that we use during yoga practice, during Ashtanga yoga practice. So I'm going to erase this. Okay, so the difference now is that by keeping the lower waist, the lower abdominals below the navel, by keeping them firm and moving the ribs instead. So what happens is, instead of the ribs staying stationary, we actually try to move the ribs outward. Okay, so spread the ribs as we inhale. All right, so as that movement happens, so then you see this dotted line here is the movement of the ribs outwards, and there's also a sense of lift, a lifting of the rib cage a little bit. So this moves out. Okay, so you can see all this extra space in here. That means that a lot of air gets pulled into the lungs. Okay, and so instead of the diaphragm moving down, what it tends to do is because we've drawn in the lower abdomen and the organs do not move out of the way now, so instead the diaphragm flares out more instead of going down. So this, actually the line should be up higher, but this diaphragm flares out, okay, with the ribs. Okay, so it's a very different action. And so in order to teach people that, we're going to do some exercise. So now we can actually start to do some exercises. Try this. Okay. Let me just, I'm going to get rid of this diagram for now so that we can have us on the screen. Okay. And I'm going to just, I'm going to first demonstrate. So I'm going to have Julie just turn off her camera. 1 second. I can do that, Julie. So, and then I'll have you turn it back on. Okay. Let's see. Oh, you did it already. Okay. So hopefully now I am showing full size. That'll be easier, especially if you're using your phone for this course. So, all right. So in order to explain this breathing technique, I'm going to just do this, roll this up. Okay, so now, as I was saying before, what we want to do is keep this lower band of muscle drawn back when we breathe. So I want you to sit and take your hands on your side ribs and from the side, rather than from the front, I want you to take them right on the ribs and push inwards. So you're pushing your hands together here like this, okay? So you're applying a little bit of pressure inwards. This is really so that it's resistance, so you have something to push against, okay? So if I try to resist my hands and push out with my ribs, you see, I can expand my ribs as I inhale, and then as I exhale, bring them back together. Okay, so now again, I push out, inhale, and exhale. Okay, so let's do that a few more times, maybe 3 more times. So try to, with the hands pushing inwards, press your ribs out as you inhale, try. Exhale, bring them back together. Again, inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Okay, so one other thing that I want to show you is from the side. Okay, so normally when you breathe, it's called belly breathing. If you breathe into your belly like this and you let the belly come out, okay? Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So to me, that feels very awkward because I don't breathe like that anymore. So now you see when I pull my lower waist in, this is what prevents my organs from moving down. So if I let my belly relax and breathe into the belly, basically what's happening is the organs, the liver, everything that's sitting right underneath the diaphragm gets pushed down, and everything gets pushed down and out. And that's what allows the diaphragm to move. But if we pull in the lower waist here, just down this area here, pull this back, then as we inhale, can expand the ribs. So the diaphragm now moves side. You can't see that from this angle, but you can see that this part of my abdomen is soft. This part is drawn back in. That's what ultimately we're trying to gain. Okay, so from the front, you don't see that so well, but you can see this little drawing back here. So again, it's inhale as I draw in and then expand sideways with the ribs. Okay, so that expansion happens all the way around, from the front all the way around the back. And the other part of this is that you start the breath down here, and there's also a lifting of the chest and an opening up here. Okay, so you're getting a very good, deep, expansive inhale, and you can control, using the ribs and the diaphragm in this way, you can really start to control the flow of air, so you can start to get a very smooth, very even breath, okay? The other thing is that with this technique, as your ribs move sideways, there's a little lift that happens here, and this makes more space in your lower spine. So between your ribs and your top of your pelvis, there's more space here. It helps you keep space in your lower back. That's very important, especially when you're doing twisting, forward bending, back bending, so that you avoid compressing the spine, or it helps to avoid that. The other thing is that this drawing back of the lower abdomen is very good support around that area. These muscles are actually supporting your lower spine, your lumbar spine, and your sacral area. So it tends to give you stability there, so that when you're twisting, when you're back bending, forward bending, you're actually evening out the movement and not putting too much pressure in that area. So this is a very supportive, very good technique. Okay, and it's very central to the Ashtanga yoga method. So I'm going to put Julie back on now. We're going to have you do a few exercises to start with, so you can really feel the breathing. when you start doing the Surya Namaskaras, when you start doing postures, you know, trying to learn this breathing at the same time, it gets complicated. So I'm going to have Julie do a couple of demonstrations here. So Julie, I'm going to get you to turn your, I'm just going to ask you to turn your, oh, there we go. She's doing it herself. Okay, I'm going to turn my own camera off. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Stop sharing my webcam. Okay, so hopefully now you have a full screen with Julie on it. Okay, so Julie's going to lay down on her back on the mat. Okay, so lay down on your back on your mat like this. Okay, and then I want you to bring your feet all the way back towards the hips. Okay, so Julie, maybe move away from the wall so that when you're taking your hands over, you'll have enough room there to reach back. Okay, so in this position with the feet pulled back towards the hips, it gives you a nice position. It actually helps you to tuck your pelvis under a little bit. And so it gives you that natural drawing in of the lower waist. Okay, so then take your hands on the side ribs, and the idea is to push inward, so not on the top of the ribs, but on the side of the ribs there, like she has. Okay, and then pushing in towards the ribs, try to inhale, just as we did in sitting. So you inhale in this position, see if you can make the ribs come apart, and exhale them back together. So about 2 or 3 seconds inhales, 2 or 3 second exhale. So again, inhale, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Now take your hands, Julie, inside on the just inside the pelvic bones. So bring your hands down and just squeeze a little bit inside the pelvic bones. So with the hands, with the thumbs around the outside of the hips, and the fingers as if you were doing Prasarita Padottanasana B. Yeah. Okay. So if you squeeze in here, this is the area of the abdomen that you want to pull in. So I want you to just squeeze a little there, and then see if you can lift and open your ribs as you breathe. This is just a little exercise to try. So as you inhale, same breathing technique that you were just doing, but now see if you can squeeze in the lower abdomen. So this is the area of the abdomen that we need to keep engaged, that we need to learn to keep engaged as you breathe. Okay, so as you inhale, you're pulling the abdomen in, opening the lower ribs. And as you exhale, keep that abdomen pulled in, but let the ribs come back together. So smooth inhale, smooth exhale. Okay, so a couple more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Okay, so one more exercise. Bring the palms down on the floor by the hips, so arms straight down. Okay, so now one more aspect of the breathing is that as you inhale, you will get a lift of your chest, especially the second half of the inhale, you get more of a lifting and opening of your chest. So as you start your breath into the base of the ribs, then as you get towards the end of your inhale, your chest will lift and open more, and you'll breathe. So you breathe from the base of the lungs all the way up into the top of the lungs. And then as you exhale, and your chest will come back to get down a little bit, and the ribs will come back together. So the way that we help to facilitate this is using the arms. This is where we get the idea of vinyasa and the movement associated with vinyasa. that helps with the breathing, and that is combined with the breathing. So what I'm going to have Julie do, and what I'd like you to do also, is to, as you inhale, start to lift your arms up. So this is one long inhale, arms come up, and then lengthen back the wall behind you. Okay, so that helps to lift the chest up, stretching the arms back. And then as you exhale, bring the arms down. So this movement means the ribs, the upper chest comes down, and then as the arms come down, the lower ribs come back together. Okay, so one long, smooth movement. Inhale, bless you, arms up, chest comes up, and as the arms come down, feel the chest coming back down and the ribs coming back together. Okay, and then again, inhale, lift the chest up and back, arms back, and exhale. This is also an excellent exercise because the smoothness of the movement gets associated with the smoothness of the breathing. So just keep going there, Julie. So you'll feel that if you can make your movement smooth and even, if you're having difficulty breathing smoothly, a movement like this with the arms will actually help you to begin to smooth your breath out. So sometimes you'll feel that, or some people will feel that they have all their capacity of their inhale happen in the first half, in the first second, and then there's nothing left. But if you can slow down this movement by slowing down the movement of your arms, you can kind of tease your breath out. And it may take some practice, but it's a very good exercise for everyone to do, just to feel the connection between movement and breathing. So there we go. Okay, so once more, inhale. And exhale, bring the arms back down. So I hope that's clear to everybody. This is very important, the way we breathe. The other thing is that it does take some time to make some of these connections, so I'll keep talking about them over the course. But knowing these simple techniques is very helpful to practice these two or three things before you start practice, to help you get in tune with your breath. So we're going to start the Surya Namaskara, and we're going to go through some of those vinyasas. So Julie, I'll have you come to standing. Okay, so the way we start the Ashtanga practice is always with Surya Namaskaras, or sun salutations. So traditionally we start with about 5 Surya Namaskara A's and 3 to 5 Surya Namaskara B. We start in what's called Samastitihi position. So in this position, we try to keep our alignment Samastitihi means equal standing. So we try to keep our alignment equal from front to back, from side to side. So you start with the feet together, heels together. You try to stand up straight. If you can keep your chest lifted a little bit and pull the chin in slightly, it'll help you to straighten up so that the crown of your head is at a point just above a point slightly in front of the heels. So there's a long line there. Okay, try to relax across the top of the shoulders and gently draw the arms down. And you see Julie's chest is nicely lifted there, and she's got a nice straight line from the top of her head all the way down to just slightly in front of her heels. So we're going to go over a couple of the vinyasas in isolation to start with, so we can again try to incorporate the breathing here. So standing at the end of your mat in this position, Samastitihi, I want you to smoothly inhale your arms up, using your inhale so the arms follow the breath. And as you come up, the chest lifts and the head comes back. Okay, and then exhale, bring the arms back down again. Okay, so again, inhale, smoothly lift the arms up. So following your inhale, bring the arms up, lift the head up, chest up first, then the head back, look up towards your thumbs, and exhale the arms back down again. Slowly, so the movement and the breath are synchronized. Again, inhale, arms up slowly, head back, look up towards the thumbs, and exhale, bring the arms down. Okay, so what happens here is that lift that we get and the expansion of the chest, the lift of the diaphragm actually supports the movement of the arms coming up and releases the tension in the shoulders. So in order to demonstrate this, what I always like to have people do is to do the opposite so that you can feel the difference and why we connect certain breaths to certain movements. So if you were to fully inhale and then exhale, take your arms up. So try to exhale and take your arms up. So as you're exhaling, the chest is dropping and the arms are going up. It feels, you can see and you can feel that Julie's alignment is not supporting that movement. Okay, it feels awful, and I hope it feels bad for you too. In comparison, it should. When you're inhaling, the support for lifting the arms is there. When you're exhaling, it's not. So that's why we connect the breath so perfectly with the movement. Okay, so the next movement we're going to do is we're going to do the second movement as well. So after inhaling, there'll be an exhale movement folding forward. So what I want to say about the exhale movement is that as you exhale, I want you to draw your waist in a little bit more strongly as you fold forward, okay? As you inhale, I want you to make as much space in your spine and reach your fingers as high as you can before you start to exhale. One more thing before we do this is that for those people with tightness in the back or the hamstrings, I want you to bend your knees and be very careful. So when you're folding forward, it's really important. If you're not familiar with this movement, then you move slowly and carefully and follow your breathing, but also to bend your knees and don't use any force, because this is where we need to be careful with the lower, especially the lower back and hamstrings. Okay. All right. So let's. Okay, I have a couple of questions before we go on. Oh yes. So breathing is just through the nose. Okay. So I should have mentioned that before. Thank you, Michelle, for bringing that up. So yes, breathing only through the nose, if possible. If you have to breathe through the mouth, then try to create some restriction with your tongue so that the breath is not flowing. There's a little bit of restriction that actually helps the breathing to stop you getting lightheaded. Okay, that helps to control the breathing. Okay, all right. So start with the first vinyasa. So inhale, bring the arms up. As you come up, lift the chest, head back, look up to the thumbs. And then as you exhale, draw the waist in, and bring the arms down. If you need to, bend your knees a little bit and feel yourself just drawing your head in a little towards your knees as is possible. So Julie's just demonstrating the variation there. Okay, so then inhale, come back all the way up, hands up, and exhale. Okay, so this is following the breath. So we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms up all the way. Head back, look to the thumbs. Exhale, fold forward. And as you fold forward, draw the head in towards the knees. If you need to, bend your knees a little bit. Okay, then again, inhale, come all the way up. Smooth movement. And exhale. So these are actually the 2 vinyasas that start and finish the Surya Namaskara. So now we're going to go through the rest of the vinyasas. We'll take you through all of Surya Namaskara A. So we start by inhaling the arms up, head back, look up towards the thumbs, and then exhale smoothly and fold forward, draw the head in towards the shins. Next vinyasa is to inhale and lift the head up, straighten the arms. Try to keep the hands flat if you can. Knees may be bent. And then exhale, step back and lower down in a plank position. Okay, try to keep the body straight. Now, for those people that are unable to do this, it's okay if you lower yourself down to the floor at this stage. You'll be building strength by practice, so eventually you'll be able to hold yourself in that plank position. Okay, from there we inhale and push up. Okay, so in this position, legs strong, try to lift and open the chest. Okay, head back, look to the nose, and then exhale. We're going to exhale, roll over the feet into downward dog position, Adho Mukha Svanasana, it's called. Okay, so you notice that Julie's downward dog, for those people that are not familiar with Ashtanga, is a little shorter than you might have seen before. What this enables is to draw the lower waist in a little more strongly. Okay, so for here, you'll hold this for 5 breaths. Now, we'll show you a variation. For those people that are not able to hold this, maybe you have shoulder problems, or maybe this flexibility is not there yet, then you can come down to the knees and stretch your arms out for 5 breaths. So this is the variation that I'm going to give. Okay, so for those people that are having issues that prevent them from holding that downward dog, you come to this position. Or if it takes too much effort, for now, you can hold the downward dog for a couple of breaths and then take this position for the last 3. Okay, right, so this is what we'll be doing as we do this is the variation that we'll be giving for you as we go through more Surya Namaskaras. Okay, so come back to downward dog position, Julie. Okay, so we've held this for 5 breaths. The next vinyasa, inhale, step forward. This movement is on an inhale and the head is kept up. And then exhale, draw the head in towards the knees. Again, bend the knees if you need to. And then inhale, come up, long, smooth inhale to bring the arms all the way up, head back, look up to the thumbs. Exhale, bring the arms down. Okay, so before we go on, we're going to go through and do 4 more of these Surya Namaskaras. Before we go on, if there's any questions, you can either put your hands up or you can ask a question in the question pane. So that option is there. If anybody has a question now, otherwise we'll go through and we'll do 4 more Surya Namaskaras. Okay, no questions. Good, so let's go through and do these Surya Namaskaras, trying to connect all these vinyasas together smoothly. Okay, so starting in Samasthitihi, inhale, smoothly bring the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Again, bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, lift the head up. And exhale, step back and lower down. Inhale, press the chest open. So really try to lift and open the chest here. Exhale, roll over the feet to downward dog. So hold downward dog if possible. If you need to, you can come out and take that variation that we showed before. So 5 breaths here. 1. So if you need to, you can take this variation. 2. Otherwise, try to hold the downward dog. 3. Keep your breathing long, deep, and smooth. 4. And 5. Inhale, step forward. Keep your head up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up smoothly, bring the arms up. Head back, look up to the thumbs. And exhale, bring the arms down, Samasthitihi. Okay, so I just had a question from someone. What happens if you can't get your hands flat? So in the beginning, if the flexibility is not there and you can't get the hands flat, then as you need to step back and put your hands down, you'll need to bend your knees a little bit. It's a little bit of a balance between having the knees straight or having the hands on the floor in the beginning. So by practicing, what I'm giving you is the best case scenario. The hands should be flat. When you're beginning and your flexibility is not there yet, then you take your fingertips to the floor. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, you can do that to protect the hamstrings, the lower back. So you kind of find that middle ground. Eventually, what we want to do is keep the hands flat and the legs straight. Okay. All right, so let's do the next Surya Namaskara. Inhale, smoothly bring the arms up. Exhale, come down, draw the head in towards the knees. Smooth exhale. Inhale, lift the head up. And exhale, step back, lower down. Inhale, press up, open the chest. Exhale, roll over the feet. Okay, so in this position, when you're in downward dog, I want you to tuck your chin and look in the direction of the navel. You probably won't be able to see it, but I want you to look in that direction. 5 breaths. 1, 2, smooth breathing. 3, 4, 5. Inhale, step forward. Keep the head up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, bring the arms down. Okay, again, inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the head up. Exhale, step back and lower down. Inhale, press up. Really try to lift and open the chest. Head up, look to the nose. Exhale, roll over the feet. Tuck the chin and try to look in the direction of the navel. As I said, you probably won't be able to see the navel, but you're tucking the head so that I'm trying to keep your gaze in that direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, step or jump forward. Keep the head up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, bring the arms down. Okay, once more. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the head up. Exhale, step back and lower down. Inhale, press up, open the chest. Exhale, roll over the feet. So I want you to focus on smooth breathing. I want you to try to implement those ideas of expanding your ribs and lifting and opening the chest as you breathe. Inhale. In this position, it's a little easier to engage and draw in the very lower part of the abdomen, especially if your downward dog position is not too long. So it should be like this kind of position that Julie's in, this kind of distance. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, step forward, lift the head up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. So really lengthen up with your arms, lift the chest, head back, look to the thumbs. Exhale, bring the arms down. Okay, so I had one more question about stepping forward, feeling like that position actually closes the chest. So I think at the beginning when you're learning these, and it's hard to inhale during that stepping forward. Okay, that is true, but eventually that movement becomes more fluid. In fact, we actually jump forward and you can keep the chest open more easily. But it is important to try to, as you inhale, expand and open your chest as you step forward. As you get more flexibility, that will be more supported, that inhale as well. Okay, so I'm going to, we'll just quickly go through the Surya Namaskara B a couple of times so that we can introduce it ready for Saturday's class, Saturday or Sunday in Asia. Okay, so this Surya Namaskara B, the first Surya Namaskara, A, the one we just did, Surya Namaskara A, has 9 vinyasas. The next one has 17 vinyasas, so it has some extra movements. We'll just break these down a little bit, a couple of times before we go to the finishing. Okay, so the first movement, you bend your knees as you lift the arms. Okay, inhale. Just bring the exhale, just exhale and bring the arms down again, Julie. Straighten the legs. Okay, so notice as we do that, Julie's not folding forward. She's actually lifting her arms and lifting her chest as she bends her knees. So this is the movement. Bend your knees, inhale, lift the chest and the arms at the same time. Okay. So what this is, why we do this is because this is an opening and expanding movement, inhaling. So we don't want to fold forward. So can you just show what is often taught to people, which we don't encourage? This is a closing movement. Okay, so this does not help you to inhale. So if you just do the first half of that movement, so many people will do this as they inhale. Okay, so this part of the movement is actually closing your chest. So in order to avoid that, the way this is traditionally taught is to simply don't take the arms down, just take the arms up as you bend the knees. Okay, so then it's all an opening movement in the chest. Okay, so this is what we want. All right, so this is the first vinyasa. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Bend your knees, inhale, hands up. Head back, look to the thumbs, first position. Then exhale, fold forward. As you exhale, straighten the knees, draw the head in. Okay, this is like Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, lift the head, straight arms. Exhale, step back and lower down. Inhale, press up. Open the chest. Exhale, roll over the feet. Tuck the chin, look towards the navel. Okay, so I'm going to break this next movement down into an extra breath. Inhale, step your right foot forward, back heel to the floor, and pause there. Then exhale. Okay, now I finish the movement by inhaling again and bringing the arms up, bending the knee, head back, look to the thumbs. I'm going to split the next movement into an extra breath as well. Exhale, put the hands on the floor, pause there, inhale, and then exhale, step back and lower down. Now inhale, press up. Exhale, roll over the feet and tuck the chin. Now left side, inhale, left foot forward between the hands, pause and exhale. Inhale, lift the arms up all the way. Head back, look to the thumbs. Long back leg. Exhale, take the hands to the floor. Pause there and inhale. Then exhale, step the left leg back and lower down. Inhale, press up into upward dog. Exhale, roll over the feet and tuck the chin. So again, 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now inhale, step forward, both feet forward, one at a time. Head up, exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, inhale, lift the arms up. So one long, smooth inhale to bring the arms up, head back, look to the thumbs. Exhale, straighten the legs, bring the arms down. Okay, so we'll go through one more Surya Namaskara B. So this is just an introduction for preparing you for Saturday. So bend the knees, inhale, arms up. Head back, look to the thumbs. Exhale, fold forward. As you straighten the legs, draw the head in towards the knees. And then inhale, lift the head up. Exhale, step back and lower down. Inhale, press up, open the chest. So really try to lift and open the heart. Exhale, roll over the feet. All right, so splitting this next movement into an extra breath. Inhale, step your right foot forward and pause on your exhale. Then finish the movement by inhaling, lifting the arms up. Head back, look to the thumbs. Okay, then exhale, put the hands down and pause. Inhale there. Exhale, step back and lower down. Inhale, press up. Exhale, back, roll over the feet. Okay, left side, inhale, step the left foot forward. Pause there and exhale. Now inhale, finish the movement by bringing the arms up. Then exhale, hands down. Pause and inhale. Exhale, step back and lower down. Inhale, press up. Exhale, back, roll over the feet, tuck the chin. 5 breaths. 1, 2. So this is called the place that you're looking is called drishti. So this drishti for this position is to look towards the navel. 4, 5. Inhale, step forward. Keep the head up. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees. Inhale, lift the arms up. Head back, look up to the thumbs. And exhale, Samastitihi. Okay, so one time we're going to go through so what I did was I broke those movements of stepping the right foot and the left foot forward and back into an extra breath, because often when people are learning this, it's difficult to take one long, smooth breath for the length of that movement. So by breaking it down, it helps you to maintain the quality of your breathing. So I'm going to have Julie go through now and do 1 Surya Namaskara B so we can see, and I'll count it through, but so you can see and feel it without taking that pause. Okay, so bend the knees, inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift the head up. Exhale, step back and lower down. Inhale, press up. Open the chest, head back. Exhale, roll over the feet. Inhale, step the right foot forward. Lift the arms up, all on one long inhale. Exhale, take the hands back, step the right leg back and lower down. Again, inhale, up into upward dog. Exhale to downward dog. And then left foot, inhale the left foot forward. Back heel to the floor, hands up. Exhale, bring the hands down, step back and lower down. Inhale, press up, open the chest. Exhale, roll over the feet, tuck the chin, look towards the navel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then inhale, step forward, keep the head up, and exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, inhale, lift the arms up, and exhale, bring the arms down, Samastitihi. Okay, so Julie, I'm going to have you just come to sitting on the floor. Okay. So we're going to finish here today. We just finished with a couple of simple sitting postures to finish. basically, depending on your ability, on the openness of your hips, and whether you have any problems with the knees, etc. If you can sit in with either simple cross-legged, like something like Julie's sitting now, or if you can sit with half lotus pose with one leg on top of your thigh, or full lotus pose for those people that are able. You can take whichever variation works for you. And for those people that have a lot of difficulty in this position, I recommend at the beginning sitting on something that's about 3 or 4 inches high to elevate the hips a little bit, just so that you're able to not be curling back with the spine. Okay, so now I want you to lift the arms up, high up, reach up with the arms above the head, long inhale, and then exhale, reach forward with the arms and come all the way down towards the floor. So some people will just have their hands on the floor in front of them. That's okay. The idea is to stay here and breathe and try to lengthen and open the body with your inhales and maintain the length as you exhale. So each inhale, try to use the lift and opening of the diaphragm and the ribs to help you gain more space, more length in the back and the sides. So long, smooth, even breaths. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, come up, sit straight, and take the hands on the knees. Touch the thumb and forefinger together, straight fingers. Jnana Mudra, this is called. Draw the chin in a little bit, and again, just take long, smooth breaths. Try to sit straight. Use your inhale. Use the mechanics of the inhale to actually try to lift and straighten yourself up more. Try not to lift the shoulders. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so let me just come back on here again. Okay, so it's good to start, especially with this first class with the beginners, just going through slowly. It's very important to understand that in the Surya Namaskara, you have so much to practice. I mean, there's so much opportunity to practice. So the most important thing, or one of the most important things, is the breathing, some of the most important things, and the smoothness of your movements. Okay, so when you start doing so many postures, so many different things, the focus goes on to often the difficulty of doing different postures. So even within the Surya Namaskara, we already have standing, lifting the arms, folding forward. We have Chaturanga Dandasana, we have Downward Dog. Then with Surya Namaskara B, we have what's called Virabhadrasana A. So we have all these postures that are already in the Surya Namaskaras. And we're learning to connect the breathing with the movement. So this is very important. So going slowly and practicing these well and paying attention to all these details is very, very good. And with this different kind of breathing technique, I recommend if people are practicing in between classes who haven't done this before, it's great. You start by laying down and doing these different breathing practices before you actually start doing your Surya Namaskaras. I'm going to post this video and I'll send out a link to the videos so that people can practice the Surya Namaskaras before we have the next class on Saturday. So I recommend you try to download that sheet with the vinyasas to remind you, to jolt the memory, and also look out for that video so that you can practice. I recommend that if people have not done these before, you try to do some practice, just 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes each day. And the benefits of the Surya Namaskaras are really great. You know, so all the benefits of yoga are can be within the Surya Namaskaras. So if there's any more questions before we close for today, you can put your hand up. It's always great to ask questions because there's many people that may not think of the question until after the webinar is finished, you know. So if you have a question, it may be good for others as well. Okay, so I did have a few, but I think we've already answered those. Okay. All right, the other thing that's important is after you practice yoga, to get the full benefit, you lay down on your back, you rest for 5 to 10 minutes. So now if you have time, I hope you have time, just lay down on your back. Julie can demonstrate the correct way. We call it Sukhasana. So you lay down. You can keep your knees bent, or you can straighten your legs. If you need to, you can bend your knees, but otherwise straighten the legs. Let the hips roll open so the feet roll out, and turn the hands up towards the ceiling. Okay, in this position, you just lay and don't just let your breath come to a resting breath. Let your eyes close. Don't go to sleep. Just lay here quietly, pay attention. Try to quieten your mind. Okay, so take 5 or 10 minutes here if you can. And that's very helpful as well. Okay, so thank you, everybody. And we'll see you on Saturday. Thank you, Julie, as always. And yes, once again, we'll see you on Saturday.